Good afternoon, everybody. This week's chapter has to do with family stress, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the many stresses that families go through these days. Let's define family stress. It's a real or imagined imbalance between the demands of the family and the family's ability to meet those demands. According to the family systems theory, balanced families are more able to cope with stress because they have more resources, such as good financial management skills, strong support from family and friends, appreciation for the unique personalities of other family members, and general satisfaction with their quality of life. Just think of the demands placed on families every day of the week. Inflation is probably one of the biggest because every time a family goes to the grocery store, it's $100+ a crack. And that's just minimum for many families. Oftentimes there are two jobs in the families and they're finding it very difficult to make ends meet. That can give such stress to a family. What it takes is resilience. Depending on how much resilience a family has, can help them in overcoming the stresses of their lives. Resilience in your chapters defined as the property that enables a family to maintain its established pattern of functioning after being challenged and confronted by risk factors. They mention terms such as buoyancy, bouncing back, and elasticity, recovering quickly. These are used to describe resilient families. The term family coping is also described as the management of a stressful event or situation by the family as a unit with no detrimental effects on any individual in that family. In other words, the family as a whole manages rather well rather than eradicating stressful events. All right, I'm looking at some notes here. Let me take a look. Sometimes giving up might be required for a family to change. I don't know what you think about that. Even though it looks like failure when a family fails to cope, the failure itself can be positive. Do you agree? You disagree? It's possible to place too much emphasis on just coping. We'll get through this somehow, and fail to adapt or change to meet the stressful demands. For example, just coping might be letting a child do whatever they want instead of establishing a routine or binging on Netflix all day to the exclusion of everything else. The chapter talks about two family processes. They are family resilience and adjustment and adaptation. We certainly have to learn how to adjust and adapt to what is happening in our world right now. Each family is unique and will find their own particular ways of adjusting. Your text mentions 10 family resilience factors, some of which are communication, spirituality, flexibility, truthfulness, family time and routine, social support, health, hope. In your assignment, you're asked to list 11 unpredictable stressors and say 2 things about each one. I'll mention them just briefly. One is family violence. That's a high level of conflict. Gender equality, multiple risk factors, child abuse and neglect. You receive training on that and you are mandated reporters. Substance abuse, illegal drugs, prescription meds, alcohol. Parents, of course, who are addicted can not provide consistent parenting. Marital transitions, single parenting, homeless families, families and children with disabilities, families and children with serious illness. Then there are migrant families, immigrant families, illegal immigrant families, military families, children of incarcerated parents, and these families face unique challenges. We need to learn to support all types of families by listening and by showing compassion. Often a teacher will be the place where parents will kind of unload on their social stressors, and you'll need to be able to give them or refer them to additional support. Most of all, form partnerships with your families based on trust and positive regard. And I'll just say, if any of you face stressful events or are particularly in a stressful situation, you can always call our disability services and talk with our counseling department. They are wonderful. 367-4073. All right, thank you. Have a great week. Let me show you my dog.